Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As you've heard, I'm Frank Bainimarama, the Prime Minister of Fiji, and also the President of COP23. I want to say a very good morning to you all. Bula Vinaka. Bula. Bula. Bula means hello, good morning, and everything nice. I am delighted as COP23 President to be joining you at your event, which in essence is to celebrate the can-do attitude of America, and I want to thank you for that. Leadership that is positive, optimistic, and determined to build a better future for America. I signed up with Governor Jerry Brown's Under 2 coalition back in July, I think it was, Jerry. I couldn't wait fast enough to get in there and give my endorsement to someone who's bringing this coalition together. And I want to thank him and people like Mike who have come together and do special things for the people of the world. And I say that we are all in the same canoe. No one is immune to climate change. If you go in the Bula zone, there's a big canoe, Fijian canoe sitting there. That's to tell everyone that we are in the same canoe. No one is immune to this climate change. And I'm especially delighted to acknowledge my great allies in building the great coalition that is the centerpiece of Fiji's presidency. My special envoy for states and regions, Governor Jerry Brown of California, the UN Secretary General Special Envoy for Cities and Climate Change, the former Mayor of New York City, Mike Bloomberg. Thank you, Mike. Jerry and Mike bring with them to COP a number of other governors, plus a large number of mayors of American cities, all committed to leadership on climate change, and who are stepping up with the significant commitments to reduce emissions and build a clean energy economy. I'll just tell you a little story. Back home, there's a whole lot of talk about bringing electric cars and electric buses, but you know those electric buses are delicate mode of transportation. They need good highways, they need good roads, which we can't afford, but we're getting there slowly. But I was in a village up in the highlands lately, and I was talking about this new technology, supposedly that we brought into Fiji, e-ticketing. Everyone knows about e-ticketing. And I was telling them about this e-ticketing, and for a long time, for about 30 minutes, I was harping on about this, how nice this e-ticketing is. And one old man sitting in the back says, "Excuse me, Mr. Prime Minister." I said, "Yes." I said, "It's very nice talking about e-ticketing, but first, bring us the bus." But I warmly welcome you all to COP23 and salute you for your energy and commitment. Thank you. Thank you, Mike and Jerry. Friends, it is thanks to America's pledge that we are now seeing how much progress can be made with the leadership of these decision makers. They may be called non-state actors in this process, but make no mistake, they are leading actors in driving more ambitious climate action in their states and cities in this critical pre-2020 period. And we can't do without them. Government can't do this. Government can go out and do all the things necessary to bring climate change to a stop. But we need everyone, non-state actors, companies, private firms, and America's pledge sends a very powerful message to the world that America is still in the game. Around me today are Americans who have the interest of their fellow citizens at the forefront of their endeavors, and within the Grand Coalition we are showing that we can assemble the power of ideas, the power of organization, and the power of, most importantly, of political will. Our calling is to create a global movement of climate action far beyond the confines of UN negotiations. Our Grand Coalitions bring together people of conviction and purpose right across the world, from city halls, school halls, church halls, and kindergartens, in state houses, corporate boardrooms, factory floors, and startup hubs, and around kitchen tables, or on rugs or mats. As in Fiji, everywhere where ordinary families gather, who are an essential part of our grand coalition. Friends, we can only achieve a response that matches the scale of this crisis with a huge movement that the grand coalition represents. For Fiji and other vulnerable nations, it's ultimately about our survival, our ability as nations and as people to prosper and to flourish. Something wonderful is happening at COP23. The parties that are pressing for greater ambition have been joined by so many non-party actors with the power to make a difference. And America's pledge is a fine example of this new dynamic. It certainly gives me, as COP President, renewed optimism that no matter how hard the challenges are, we have the capacity and the will to fully implement the Paris Agreement. I want to close with a message to all those who are behind America's pledge. Thank you very much, because with your assistance, we will get this job done. And speaking of getting the job done, I now have the great pleasure to welcome Mike Bloomberg to address you all. Thank you. God bless you all.